Okay, great. Hi, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us here today for our session about OBW and ORA. We are joined here by Agnes and Clotilde. They will shortly be starting the presentation. And if you have any questions, please feel free to put them in the chat or to ask your questions after the session as well. All right, go ahead.
Okay, great. Thank you, Rita. Hi, everyone. Welcome, and thank you so much for attending the presentation on the Ontario Rhone-Alpes Student Exchange Program. We're very excited to see all of you here. My name is Agnes Poleszczuk, and I'm the program coordinator of the ORA here in Ontario. I'm housed at York University, and my colleague came from Lyon in the region of Rhone-Alpes, and she can introduce herself.
Yeah. Hi, everyone. I'm Clotilde Péchet. I'm the ORA program coordinator in the Auvergne-Rhone-Alpes region. And I'm here today. I'm very happy to be here to present you the program with Agnes.
And here we are again with our contact information. The same information is available on our website, and we'll have the address to the website provided in later slides, but this is how you can reach us. We both work full-time for the ORA program, and we're eager to promote the program to Ontario students and hope that a lot of students will take advantage of this wonderful opportunity. So just before we start, a couple of very general comments about what is ORA. So ORA is a consortium of universities in Ontario and in the Rhone-Alpes region in France. So there are 11 universities currently participating on the Ontario side and 10 universities on the Rhone-Alpes side. And the great benefit to students through ORA is the fact that you have an option to participate in the program at one of 10 institutions. So you have a choice of your host university in the region of Rhone-Alpes. And also because we're a consortium, you also have the support of our office. So, the two coordinators, presenting today. And also we have scholarships available to students who are accepted to one of our programs. And we'll also cover that a little bit later.
Okay. Yeah, so why go and study in Auvergne-Rhone-Alpes? Well, first of all, where is it situated? It's in France. It's in quite a central area. And you're also close to other countries in Europe. And France has borders with Spain, Italy, Switzerland, Germany, Luxembourg, and Belgium. From Lyon, you're 2 hours by TGV from Paris, and from Marseille by the sea, Mediterranean Sea. From Grenoble, you're really close to Switzerland and Italy. And here are a few pictures of the 4 cities where the institutions are: Lyon, Grenoble, Annecy, Chambéry to the bottom left, and Saint-Étienne. And here are a few pictures of the universities. So Chambéry and Savoie-Mont-Blanc and Grenoble are really in the Alps or close to the Alps, and Lyon and Saint-Étienne are close to each other. And yeah, just to get you a feel of what can be done in terms of culture, of events, sports, museums, restaurants, food. There's lots to do in the Auvergne-Rhone-Alpes region. So yeah, the region is very dynamic economically. It's close to many other cities in France and in Europe. It's easy to get to other places. It's easy to get to the mountain, to the sea, although it's not by the sea, but it's quite quick if you want to travel it's even for a weekend or even sometimes for a day.
Okay, and as we already mentioned earlier, the big benefit of taking part in the program is that you get support of dedicated program coordinators in Ontario and in the region of Rhone-Alpes, but also obviously of your home university's international office, as well as the support of the international office at the host university. I mentioned scholarship support, so actually, if you don't mind, we'll skip this part now because there will be a slide specifically devoted to scholarships, and I'll talk about specific amounts.
And I'm back with the institutions. Among the 10 partner institutions, there are 6 universities and 4 grandes écoles, which are prestigious selective schools that students where students study just like at university, and they graduate after 5 years. So in Lyon, there are 3 universities: Université Claude Bernard Lyon 1, Université Lumière Lyon 2, Université Jean Moulin Lyon 3. Lyon 1 is focused on hard science and medicine, and Lyon 2 and Lyon 3 are in social sciences and humanities, both of them. École Centrale Lyon and INSA Lyon are engineering schools. École Normale Supérieure de Lyon covers a wide range of disciplines, everything except from law and medicine. So it can be either hard science or humanities, social sciences. Université Jean Monnet Saint-Étienne is covering a wide range of disciplines, as well as Université Savoie-Mont-Blanc. So you can see them on the map. Lyon is in purple, Saint-Étienne in green, in yellow, orange is Savoie, and in red is Grenoble. So there are 2 institutions, one big university and one also big engineering school. Actually, it's a group of 6 schools. And yeah, as you can see on the map, they're close to the Alps. Université Rhone-Alpes covers all disciplines as well.
Okay. So if you apply to the ORA program, you have the option of taking part in either one of the programs or possibly more than one in a given year. So we offer the traditional semester long exchange program. So you could participate in either one semester exchange or a full year. We also have a summer research program. So this is a program mostly directed at students in engineering and sciences, but we're trying to expand this program to include research opportunities for students in humanities and social sciences as well. This program, I'll talk a little bit more about this program specifically in another slide, but just to give you a general idea, students conduct or are part of a research group in Rhone-Alpes at one of the participating universities. And this is also a paid program, just like the exchange, semester exchange. And our third program is an intensive 1-month-long language program that is normally hosted during the month of August. And it's offered by 2 language schools that are affiliated with the participating universities in the region of Rhone-Alpes. And we'll talk about that a little bit later on as well. Okay, so just a little bit more information about the exchange program. As I already mentioned, 1 or 2 semesters. This program is open to students in all disciplines, apart from medicine, dentistry, and some performance programs in the arts. So let's say film production, music performance. These programs are offered at separate institutions of higher learning. They're not part of the traditional university structure. So all fields of study, apart from the 3 that I mentioned, students can study in either French or English, although it's important to note that the majority of courses are offered in French. So some level of French proficiency is required. And we normally recommend that students have sort of the equivalent of a B1 or B2 level. And this level can be achieved, well, through different ways. So some students, may have 2 years of academic level French at university. Others maybe have done French immersion in high school, or studied through language schools such as Alliance Française. So there's different ways of acquiring that level, but it is recommended that students have some proficiency to apply for the exchange program. Once again, scholarships are available, and I'll talk about the scholarship amounts in a later slide. Credits transfer to your degree, yes. So for all your work done on the exchange program, you'll get credits transferred towards your degree at the home institution. And credit transfer decisions are made by your home university. So it's not something that we can discuss here in detail. Basically, you would need to work with the international office of, well, at Western in your case, to get your credits transferred towards your Ontario degree.
Yes, and maybe to add something on credits in Europe and that's in France, everyone shares the same credit system. It's called ECTS, a European Credit Transfer System. So wherever you go, you will validate your courses with ECTS credits. And one semester for one regular semester is 30 credits, and 1 year, full year, is 60 credits.
Okay. Our next program is the summer research program. As I mentioned earlier, it's a program that is especially attractive to students in science and engineering and health science disciplines, simply because it works better in terms of the academic timing. So for many students in sciences and engineering, it's difficult to go on exchange during the academic year. So the summer opportunity is very attractive to students in those fields. So basically, students are placed in a research group or a lab, working alongside researchers, at the university, and they're paid for their work. So they're paid with a stipend every month. Usually students go for 2 or 3 months, so using almost the entire summer. But if students go in, let's say, May, and they stay for 3 months, when they return to Ontario, there's still the month of August, which allows students to use part of the summer to work in Ontario if that's important. This program is a little bit labor intensive in the sense that students have to initially do a lot of research trying to identify a potential host. And this can be done using our website. We have links to all the participating universities, and students have to look for a host on the website and contact potential hosts directly through email, explaining that they're applying to the ORA program and what their interests are and what they hope to contribute to the research being conducted at the host institution, and also what they hope to achieve from being part of the research group. As I mentioned, there's also scholarship available for the summer research program participation. So students receive, and again, I'll talk about scholarships a bit later, but just to mention, students receive $1,500 from the ORA program office, and they also are eligible for the monthly stipend from the French lab.
And a couple of words on our third program, so the summer language program. It can be done either at Grenoble at the QF, or in Saint-Étienne at the CILEC, which are the French language schools, in the partner universities. It's 1 month long, 4 weeks in August. And you will study French, French language, French culture. There are a couple of excursions programmed or planned, sorry. Again, there's a scholarship for this program, and the credits are 12 ECTS credits, which will be transferred to your home university. And there is no language, French language requirement to take this program. Your level will be assessed before you start, but you can either be a beginner or medium level or advanced. And this program can be taken by itself, or it can also be taken before going on an exchange for a semester or for the full year. And it's actually, we recommend that you do it to prepare your exchange. It's a great opportunity to get used to being in France, get used to the university, to where things are, how things work, and start your semester in great conditions.
Okay, before I talk about the orientation, I just wanted to mention, because I forgot to mention that when I was speaking about the summer research program, is that French language proficiency is not required for participation in the summer research program. Work in the French lab will be mostly conducted in English, but even if it's not, every host professor will be able to communicate with the student in English. So it's not a requirement. Of course it's an advantage if students have some language proficiency. It will just help them function better even outside of the lab, but it is not a requirement.
And in order to prepare for your exchange or for your summer language program or for the research program, well, research depending on the time.
Yeah.
But we host an orientation seminar in May, and this is to address more technical issues, technical questions that you may have before leaving. How do I get organized? How do I travel? How do the courses work, the assessments work? How can I get a phone? Is it cheaper if I take it here or there beforehand, or once I'm in France, and so on and so forth. Talking about credits again. So we hope to do this orientation in person, and if not, it will be virtual. Okay, and now the exciting information that we're happy to share. As of this year, we're able to offer scholarships to students who are taking part in all three of our programs. So students taking part in the exchange receive $3,500 for full year participation and $2,500 for one semester. I already mentioned in the summer research program, we offer a scholarship of $1,500, and students also receive a monthly stipend from the French lab, and the amount of the stipend varies depending on the university or even the individual lab. But on average, it's between 500 and maybe 800 euros, roughly, at least based on information prior to the pandemic, when we had students actively participating in the program. And the final program, the intensive language program in August, is supported with a scholarship in the amount of $1,200. Okay, and how do you apply? First step, please consult our website. We have detailed information about all three of our programs, application process. We're in the process actually of updating some of the information for 23-24. So please forgive if there's any information that's not up to date, but we don't foresee major changes. So it's just basically updating links that maybe are broken right now, but all the relevant information is available on the website.
As the next step, you need to contact the international office of your home university, because as an Ontario student, you apply to the program through the international office of your home institution. So you need to apply by the internal deadline at Western. So there's sort of two steps. You apply through the international office at Western, but you have to complete the ORA application on our website. Make sure that you download the PDF version of the application, which you will then submit to Western with all the required supporting documentation. And then after Western nominates you to the program, they will forward the entire application package to our attention. And then, in the ORA program office, we'll do the final sort of assessment of the applications and finalize the placement.
And we've gone through the main aspects of our program. So thank you very much for attending this info session. We're here to answer questions if you have some. And
sorry, we rushed a little bit through the presentation, but we wanted to make sure that we cover all the slides because we have, I guess, only half an hour for the entire meeting. So please go ahead if you have any questions. If you wish, you can put them in the chat or just unmute yourself, I guess, right, Rita, and pose your question live to the group.
Perfect. So we have a question from Robin. They're saying that they're wondering how competitive the summer language intensive program is and how many people are generally accepted.
Okay, so the program is, I don't want to say it's not competitive, but it's pretty open in the sense that we don't have a limit as to the number of applications that we can accept. So as long as the students are nominated by the home institution to our program, it's pretty much guaranteed that they will be accepted to the language program. Because there are two language schools and students have to indicate their first choice school, that's potentially where, there could be an issue depending on the number of applications for a particular language school. So if we have majority of students, choosing one school in a given year, we may have to place, some students at the second choice school. But basically, there is no limit as to how many students we can accept. And we have enough funding to offer students the $1,200 scholarship. So please apply. Don't let, any sort of hesitation stop you. There's definitely room for everyone who wishes to take part.
Awesome. Thank you so much. I see that Erin also has their hand up. If you want to say your question, Erin.
Yes, thank you for the presentation. I just had a question because you mentioned that the application process is a little bit intensive for the research program in particular because we have to go kind of contact the professor or researcher ourselves. I was just wondering what suggestions you may have in terms of kind of starting on that process. How should we approach doing the research and finding a professor?
That's a very good question. So I would say as a first step, please contact your home department. So depending on your field of study, contact the professors that you are taking courses with right now in the area of study that you want to do research in France, because they may already have an existing research collaboration, in France, and they may be able to facilitate that contact, or at least they may be aware, of a research group or a professor who is working in your area in Rhone-Alpes, so they can at least direct you, towards the right, the right host, because we do understand that it is a very difficult process for students. Because you have to do the work, like you have to do the research yourself first, identify the potential professors, and that of course is a challenge. But based on past experience, we've always had, successful students and quite a few participants in the past. So please don't get discouraged. If you have a hard time either, receiving answers from professors or just finding professors, please contact us directly. Clotilde and I will do everything that we can to help, make that process a little bit easier. We can't find you a placement necessarily, but at least maybe we can facilitate communication, so if there is a professor that you have already identified and they're not responding, or you don't know how to reach them, then hopefully there's something that we can do to help. Also, we do have some testimonials on our website, not many, but there are some. So I would also encourage you to read the testimonials, because students, past participants, talk about the research labs where they worked on their research program. So that could give you some ideas. I don't know what other ways.
On the French side, you may identify a faculty or a lab, directly a lab, and well, you can look for labs in France. So if you find them, you can write the professors who are working in the lab. If you don't, then another way of finding them is asking members of the faculty, which is linked to your research in France. Then you may look for responsable des relations internationales, somebody in charge of international relations. You may also write to a head of a department, or even the head of the faculty. Another option is to contact, there are also research services in university. So you may contact the service of research in the university to ask them for the labs, the research groups, and the directors of these labs.
But if you have specific questions about the application process, particularly about the SRP, because it is a little bit more complex, please email us after the session, and we can definitely help in that process.
Okay, I guess there's another.
Yeah, there's one last question. They are asking about whether these options are only for undergraduate students.
No, the research program is open to undergraduate students at the end of their studies, or graduate students as well.
Actually, all three programs are open to both graduate and undergraduate students.
Mm-hmm.
And the summer research program is also open to graduating students, because for the exchange and language program, students have to be continuing in their in the regular degree program when they return to Ontario. But the SRP is open to students who are already graduated.
Perfect.
So like the summer after graduation, basically, right?
Awesome. Thank you so much. I see that we're running up to time, so my apologies. But if you have any other questions about the OBW or ORA program, please email us at goabroad@uw.ca, and we'll forward your inquiry over to both of our organizers. Thank you. Thank you so much for your presentation. And thank you for attending.
Thank you so much.
Bye, everyone.
Au revoir, à bientôt.